Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Chi and today I'm going to be hauling 90 books from my bookshelf. Some of these books I haven't even read, some of these books I have read, some of these books are authors that are supporting genocide. You know, we gotta just clean up the shelves. We gotta get the trash out. Some of these books aren't trash, not too much. But yeah, I'm gonna be hauling 90 books. I'm gonna try to tell you why I'm unhauling all of them in one sentence or less. We're not trying to talk too much, there's a lot of books to get through. I'm gonna keep a counter of which category these books I'm unhauling come from, just so I can, you know, keep a mental note on like why I do too much and why I have so many books that I don't want, so a year later I'm unhauling 100. Problematic authors, let's just start there. Problematic authors, like, let's just make that a category and get them out the way. Another one is going to be, I have a used bookstore problem. Like, if I'm in a used bookstore and a book is under $5, there's no reason for me not to buy it. That's my mentality. Obviously that's not true. Obviously there's many reasons why you shouldn't buy a book that you have no intention to read, but you know, growth. Think of this as a rehab of sorts. Another one's gonna be a nostalgia buy. I tend to buy a lot of books that are part of series that I read when I was a teenager that I just feel like, oh my gosh, yes, 10 years later, this is the time to finish the series. So that's gonna be here. Oh, overhyped. I fell into the hype. Let's do that. 4 categories. Yeah, so let's start with Kingdom of the Cursed. This is a sequel. This is a sequel to a book I read, but I don't even count it as me ever reading it, because if you ask me anything that happened in Kingdom of the Wicked, I cannot tell you a single thing. I got to the end of that page and I do not remember anything after page 22. But Barnes & Noble had their sale for hardcovers, and I used to be a hardcover fiend. So I bought this. Even though I don't even count myself as having read the first book. I did read it. Do I remember anything? Absolutely not. So this one will go in hype. Hype. This one with hype. This one, Wither. Genetic engineering turned every newborn into a ticking time bomb. Males die at age 25 and females die at age 20. What the heck? Why do men get to live longer? Misogyny. I'm going to put this one in a used bookstore because I know I got this from a used bookstore. I've never heard about this book and I'm pretty sure it was just really cheap. How to Love Your Elf. I know this one's a used bookstore buy. I was like, elves get so little love in the paranormal fantasy space, so I'm like, let me show love. But here I am, having never read it and not wanting it anymore. Heartstopper. I love this book until Alice Oseman decided to be in favor of what the IDF is currently doing to Palestinians. So I already read this book. I loved it, but I have no need to have someone who has that stance and authored a book that I love on my shelves. So someone else on Pango will enjoy it, hopefully, but I cannot support her. So that one's going in problematic authors. Everybody Looking. This one, used bookstore. So this one's by a Nigerian American author. I might keep this one for nostalgia reasons, but the only reason I picked this one up is for nostalgia reasons. I think, you know, when a book hits too close to home, like a first generation Nigerian American writer and dancer, like something about it, like the woes of being a first daughter in a West African household, like this is what this book is about, and it hits too close to home. I don't know if I want to relive that, so yeah, nostalgia is why I got this. Lantern's Ember. I don't know what this is about. This was a cover buy. Cover buy is another. I like this cover. It's very horror, very spooky looking, and have no plans to read it, to be completely honest. Hooked. This one was a used bookstore buy, and I was really in my contemporary romance bag at this time, and this one seemed like, you know, toxic. Get hooked on a girl named Fred. Oh my gosh, it's just given very early 2000s or early 2010s, which is cute. It was a time, it was a moment, not anymore. Captive Prince. This, I'm gonna put this on problematic authors because this book should never been published. There was no writer's room. No one literally read the first chapter. For the first 2 chapters was like, this is a little too much essay for a book. So I don't recommend this to anyone. I DNF'd it because it was way too much. I don't even know how it got. Oh, it's definitely a used bookstore buy. But yeah, no, horrible. Christine Feehan. This was a buy because I like Christine Feehan's books when I was a youngin, so she writes paranormal romance about like vampires. But now that I think back on reading those books were mad misogynistic and just like not really that enjoyable. They were just not as good as I made them seem out to be in my mind. So I bought this at a used bookstore because it was probably $1. I'm never gonna read it. I will let some auntie in the middle of Midwest Ohio read it. Lexicon. You see, this one seemed cool. Sticks and stones break bones, words kill.
They recruited Emily from the street. They said it was because she was good with words. They'll lift her dead. They said, will Parker survive? Okay.
This is what's it called, a romantic thriller? No, it's just a thriller, no romance. Which, again, not my tea, not really my tea. That's it, yeah. It won a lot of awards, but a lot of awards that I don't care about. So that's it. Christina Lauren, they are in support of the Palestinian genocide, so why would I want them on there? The Story Spinner, I got to say, used bookstore for literally $1. I've had $1, not $1. I've had it for about 3 years, probably more to be honest. And yeah, it's like a dystopian Forest of Hands of Teeth esque type book, and I've had it for too long and I do not care to read it. Stung, There Is No Cure for Being Stung. Again, very YA sci-fi. This is like my bag when I was 16, 17, 18 to 25, to be honest. My bag. And I still haven't read it. I actually might have read it and just forgot it, but I don't really have any need for it anymore, and I know I'm never going to read it. This one goes into YA, or like just nostalgia vibe, because the Evernight series was one of my favorite series. I still have the first book because I love the first book down, and I just never finished the rest of the series. This is Hourglass. I think this is the 4th book or something, and I just never finished it. So probably last year I saw this at a used bookstore. I'm like, wow.
Now is the time to finish this series. I haven't read it in 10 years.
Of course, that's not a logical way of thinking, but here I am. Don't need that. This one I kept for too long because of the cover, but it just has not been calling to me. I still have yet to read a book by Tochi, which is honestly a shame and a mockery of everything I am as a Nigerian. It seems really cool, but I've just had it for so long and have never read it, so I gotta give it up. I gotta give it up. Komi Can't Communicate. This is volume 2 in Komi Can't Communicate. The reason I'm unhauling this one is because this manga series has a good 11 books in it already, and I just know I'm not going to collect all of them. If a manga series has more than 25 books, 27 books, I'm capping it. I'm not going to read all of them. I'm not going to collect all of them. I'm going to watch the anime, so that's why I'm unhauling this one. It's a good series though. I like it. This book is a love and pets romantic comedy. I don't even like pets. I've never had pets, never want to have pets. I got this at the used bookstore because it was literally 50 cents. 50 cents for a book? Yeah, I'm never going to read it though, so here it is. The Husky and His White Cat, Shizon. I'm unhauling this because I have 2 copies of them. Because if I see a light novel, I'm going to purchase it. And I just did not know I already had this one. Also, I've never read it yet, but I'm unhauling it. The rest of Alice Oseman's books. I don't need her in my life. The Animal Under the Fur. This was a cover buy because this is such a cool cover. And it's a action romance dripping with vengeful delight. I don't like the use of the word dripping here. A hate to love standalone. I think I picked it up because it was standalone, and standalone's getting no love these days, but I have no desire for this. Lauren K. Hamilton, Guilty Pleasures. This is back when I was in my paranormal romance mass market paperback bag. I'm no longer there, so I don't know why I have it. This book I got at the beginning of the pandemic, and I thought it was Faith or Fate, whatever, whichever one, because it's about a pandemic in the year 2014. I thought it was cool, but I'm never gonna read it, and I'm not gonna read it. The first book, Kingdom of the Wicked, don't like it, don't want it, there's no reason for me to have it. The reason I'm unhauling Legendborn is because I hate how Book of the Month puts their insignia on all these books, and I have another copy of Legendborn in paperback that is signed by Tracy Dion, and obviously that is worth more than life itself, so there's no reason for me to keep this one. The Two Lions, I have an extra copy. That should be another. I'm gonna put another category. I have 2 copies of this one. I also have 2 copies of this one. The Dragon's Betrothed. The Raven Boys. This was one where I bought because of the hype. Everybody and their mother was talking about it, and I wanted to be part of the cool kid crowd. But yeah, I have no desire to read it. Also, the cover is so creepy to me. Like these AI generated men boy things. I have no desire. Blackbird. This is a manga series that I've had since high school, middle school, whenever they came out, honestly. And it's one of those that just by looking at the covers, I just know I'm not going to like it in my big age. They're just not made for the current demographic. This is really Twilight era CHIOMA that really was eating the shit up. So I don't need these anymore. Yeah, don't know what category I went for them, but I don't need them. After the End, this is a YA sci-fi dystopian from 2014. I just know books from that era may not be following the same, political correctness that we follow in this era. So I try to avoid things that were published, honestly, before a certain time period, 2015 being that cutoff. So yeah, I'm not right. No, there's nothing. We Hunt the Flame. I've just had this book for so long. I love this author though. I love everything she does. Like every time she speaks, I love her. But yeah, I just know I'm not gonna read this book. I've had it for way too long and have no desire to read it. It's just not what I'm in the mood for lately, like the past 10 years. But this book I bought at the used bookstore for like $2. It's a book based on that one movie with Idris Elba and a Caucasian lady, and they are trapped in the Himalayas or some mountain or something, and then they fall in love or something. It sounded cute when I thought about it, but then when I really thought about it, no, it's not. It's not cute. Again, paranormal romance bag nostalgia. I have no desire for these, and these are brand spanking new. I know I'm not going for them. Strange Angels and Betrayals. This is one of my favorite series, YA series. I don't know why. And I specifically remember buying this knowing darn well that I already had the 2 individual books separately, but I like the series so much I was like, might as well have more than 1 copy. And I understand how that's some people's portion. It's not mine. No reason to do that. I was sent this book unsolicited or without my permission, so I don't know how people began my address, but it is a... When the police can find no proof that Matt Arrington's missing girlfriend Kate even exists, he follows a fragile clue across the ocean to Wales to find her, only to lose his memory in a tragic accident. Waking up in the West Island, he finds he's suspected in a terrorist plot to murder without too much going on. Too much I don't care about. Elsewhere by Gabrielle Devin. I have no idea what this book is about. I think this book is about where you go when you die. Yeah, too meta for me. No. From Blood and Ash, y'all know I love the series down. I bought it in hardcover, even though I already have all the 3 of the books in softcover because I love this book so much. And when I see it in other places that's not my bookshelf, it makes me want to buy it, but that don't make no sense. So I don't need 2 copies of this book, even though the hardcover is so pretty. But then I have to buy the other ones in hardcover. Too much. This is Meg Cabot's book Overbite. Meg Cabot is one of my favorite authors of all time, to be completely honest. Like, I haven't read a book by her in probably 5 years, and this one was whack as all hell, but I still love her. But this book was whack. Jessica's Rule to the Dark Side. Jessica's Guide to Getting on the Dark Side was one of my favorite YA vampire novels of all time. So literally like 6 months ago, I saw this, which is a sequel. I was like, I never read the sequel. Let me read it now. Why would I think I want to read it now when I read the first book 12 years ago? Makes no sense. I don't need that. The good ones, I'm unhauling this because I have another copy that's signed by the author, so someone else should read this. Faded, The Soul Seekers by Alison Knoll. Alison Knoll used to be one of my favorite authors, so when I saw her book at the used bookstore, I was just like, I should get it, right? No, there's no reason to do that. Because that's also like the 3rd book in the series. Don't need that. Tangled Web. So this is like a, I think, historical Arabian Nights retelling type of book. I just don't feel like it's gonna hit. It's signed, not to me though, and it's in 2012 now. Nora Roberts' The Awakening. I used to read Nora Roberts books, and then I went on a binge of Nora Roberts movies on Hallmark for whatever reason. So I was like, let me give Nora Roberts her paranormal and fantasy like books. Let me give them a try. I don't want to. Don't know why I thought I did. The Mothers by Britt Bennett. I thought I could get into my literary fiction bag. I thought I can get to my temporary bag. I have zero desire to read this. It's just not what I like to read, honestly. I'm very much like other girls. Like, I like to read my fantasy. I like to read my sci-fi. I like to read my romance. I think just someone else would really enjoy this more. And it's her debut. And I don't know, I don't like books where people are in mourning because I am a fragile soul. So The Wind Up Girl by Paula Bacigalupi. I got this book in Japan, even though it's not by a Japanese author, years ago, and still have never read it. It sounds so cool though. It's just something I know someone else would have read by now if they really wanted to, or I would have read by now if I really want to, and I obviously really don't want to. So yeah. Folly, this is a book that I loved from my childhood years, but not loved enough to keep it or ever want to read it, or ever want to reread it again. It's cute. It's cute though. Another Blackbird manga. I don't need that. Beautiful Darkness. Yeah. I have Beautiful Creatures, which I absolutely loved. I don't care for the sequel. I don't want it. It's pretty though, but taking up space. It's such a thick book. Before the Ignites, I got this because the main girl on the cover is a black girl, but I don't think the main girl when I started reading was a black girl. So I was just like, what the hell? That's literally the only reason I'm hauling it. Once Upon a Broken Heart, I got this for the hype, and it wasn't good. Yeah, it just wasn't. The Atlas 6, I bought this because my little sister loved it. I hate this cover. I don't know why. I hate things with eyes on them. I hate this cover. I found the original cover at a used bookstore for $8, even though on Pingo, booktube were trying to sell it for $75, so I don't need this one. The Dead in the Dark, I bought this one because it was purple and white. It was such a pretty cover. I started reading it. I just don't like it. Like, what is going on? It's just, no. It was the horror was trying to do too much, and I was like, this is not scary, it's just confusing. Special A, I bought this manga because I went on a shoujo anime binge, and this is one of the ones on my to watch list. So I bought the manga, but I have no desire to read the manga, so I'm just gonna watch the anime. That's that. Vampire Nights. Again, nostalgia. I don't want it anymore. I just know it won't hit the same. The First One Incoming Can't Communicate. Like the series, I'm not gonna read all 32 of them. A Daily Education. I'm not gonna read this. It's past the time that I would want to read it, so I'm done with that. Hex Hall. I like this book, not enough for me to keep it. The Fourth Week. Oh, heck no. No. Rebecca, whatever her name is, has spoken out to in favor of what is the IDF is currently doing to the Palestinians, and we're not about that over here at all. Iron Daughter by Julie Kagawa. I love Julie Kagawa's books as a youngin. I think I finished this series, but there's way too many books in it. I don't need all of them, and I have all of them. The only reason I kept this one is because the spine is my favorite color, so it added to the purple rainbow shelf, but that's not a reason to keep it. Pushing the Limits is, you know, a dark YA romance where the brooding boy who's a new school, or a new kid at the new school, and people don't know why he was expelled from his other school, and the nice girl who is intrigued by him. I'm too old for that. Nobody. This is a sci-fi. The most dangerous people in the world are the ones you don't even see. Ooh, assassins. I love manga about assassins. The book was published in 2013. Yeah, too many books in 2013 have subtle homophobia, subtle racism, subtle ableism, subtle just not things that are kosher that I don't even want to get into. The Goddess Test, this one was really cool. That's it. I don't remember anything about it. I just remember that was really cool. I have so much Alice Oseman books. Like, I was really down for this woman, but like, come on now. Like, hospitals are being bombed. Be a better person. The Kiss of Deception, this is way too thick to be the book one in a YA fantasy romance. No, absolutely not. The High Mountain Court, I think I just have two of these. Yeah, I've never read this book, but I think I just have two of these. This was a book a sci-fi book that was cool. I think I kept it around because the cover is so pretty and it's purple, my favorite color. I just have no desire. I don't need it. Blood Scion, again, I have an arc that's signed by the author, so I don't need this one. Duplicates. Delirium, just very early 2000s YA. A Girl Named Digit. I think this is like my first middle grade book that I read, and I probably read it when I was in elementary school. I remember it being cool, but a 12-year-old will enjoy that more than I need it on my shelves. The Girl in the Lighthouse. This book seems so freaking sad. Like, it seems like the saddest thing ever. I don't even know how I acquired this because I don't want to be sad when I'm reading the book. Give the Dark My Love. Come on now. What am I doing with a book with this title? I don't need that. Stealing Infinity by Alison Noel. Alison Noel was one of my favorite authors, so when I saw a book by her, I picked it up, not knowing that I think this is like the third book in the series. Whatever. Captive Hearts. I hate manga with this old art style where everyone has a very triangle chin. It just looks so weird to me and I don't like it. I think I like Captive Hearts, but I just don't like the art style. Fire, I have this book in hardcover. Grayson series is one of my favorite series of all time. I don't need it in softcover. I guess I have a lot of duplicates. Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? A kind of pulp fiction, Kafka, a prophet. I don't know what this means, but it just gave real incel. It just gave real incel. And it's also one of those books that was published a long time ago, and they said by 2021, the world war had killed millions, driving entire species into extinction, sending mankind off planet. That's crazy that in 1968, they would have thought that we had found another planet in which we could live in. Not the case. It's just giving real incel. Beasts of Prey by Anna Gray. Oh my god, that rhymes. I'm not gonna read this book. I got to page so far into this book. So far. So 1/4 of the way in this book. And I put it down and never picked it up. Literally put it down probably in January. Or no, I started during Black History Month, probably February. Never picked it up. I don't remember anything that happened. And I don't want to pick it up. So there's that. The Iron Prince. This is an arc I think this one's also signed by Julie Kagawa. Like the series, but I don't need all of the books. There are 11 books in the series. I don't need them. And here's another one. Like, they're such cute covers. But I think each series is also about a different person. Like, this one says Ethan Chase. This one also says Ethan Chase. Okay, maybe they're all about Ethan Chase. But anyways, I don't need these. I love how it's beveled edges, though. I don't need these. Dark Matter. This book sounds so cool. Like, whenever I read the synopsis, I'm like, wow, I would love to read this book. I don't really think so. I don't think that's true because I haven't read it. The Dead Toss Waves, the Carrie Ryan. I think that's like a sequel about another. Wait, I've read this book, so I know what this book is about. I don't care for it. I like The Force and Fantasy Teeth so much better, and I just never will read this, and I don't really want it on my shelves. Nothing bad about it. Just don't want it. King of Battle and Blood. I bought this book because of the hype, knowing darn well that the last Scarlett St. Clair book I read, I hated. It was just, I hate it. And, like, I'm one of those people that, like, if something has bad writing, I don't care. Like, as long as the story's good. Like, Twilight had bad writing, and all of us were geeked to the moon about it. But this bad writing, not this book, the other book she wrote about Hades and Persephone, I think, was so bad that I was like, what? A writer's room could help so many of y'all. And Enchantment of Ravens, this one I bought because of hype on Book Talk. It's just so typical. It's just so typical. It's a YA book. It's a YA fantasy. I don't know what to tell you. Unhauling the Soulmate Equation because Christina Lauren is in support of the Palestinian genocide. Sherilyn Kenyon, Dead Man Walking. I used to love Sherilyn Kenyon, and I just stopped. And I like to think it wasn't because she had beef with Cassandra Clare, because I don't care about Cassandra Clare that much for me to be stopped reading, and also because of their beef. But I feel like I stopped reading her around the same time, so maybe it has something to do with that. But yeah, I have 2 copies of the book. I don't want either of them. Fate Fixed. I love this book. It is a book about, for me to just say I love it and to not know what it's about, I don't know. I think it was just YA paranormal romance. You know, it's the formula. A Curse So Dark and Lovely. I've had this book for a decade. Since this book came out, I've had it. Never in my life. This has been on more than a dozen TBRs. No. Cold Case. Did I start reading this book? I think I started reading this book. This was one of the worst books ever. I hated it so much. Oh my gosh. I hated it so much. And the reason I got it is because I think, yeah, there's a black girl on the cover and it's a thriller. I was like, a black girl thriller? Wow. This was not good. I hate it with passion. Of course, I still have more. Vampire Night. Yeah. Teen me would probably be crying. Big adult, old me, I don't care. Spoiler alert, was not a good book. Oh my gosh, it was not a good book. The way the hype was so up in arms about that book, I was like, that was not a good book. I don't know what y'all talking about. Here's again the other copy. Like, why do I have one? First of all, what's the science of this? These are both the same thickness, and this one's literally 3 times this. Anyways, don't like either of them. Cute covers though. Carp Courses, Rachel Kane, The Morgan of the Vampires. This is one of the only series I did not finish. I started in my teen that I actually want to finish. I love this series. Damn, I have 2 copies of this one. And If the Shoe Fits. I bought this one because of the cover, but I'm just not in my contemporary bag, and I have not been for the year. So I'm like, if it has, it's been a year. Magic Study. I hate that this doesn't have a desk jacket. Like, what the hell? That pisses me off. That's it. Yeah, I love that series though. I love that series. The Rose and the Dagger. I read the first book, which is The Wrath and the Dawn. Loved it down. That's a lie. I didn't love it down. I gave it 3 stars. 3 stars is pretty good. I've had this sequel since I finished that book. I think I bought it like the next week at a used bookstore. I don't care to read it. Like, I don't even remember what happened in the first book. Ally. Someone told me this book was racist. That was it. Or like the slave people are just like caricatures of like dark skinned people in the world. I was like, come on, y'all don't have to do this. These Rebel Raves, I have a duplicate. This is my last one. One last stop. I have tried to read this and start this book more times than I have tried to read and start any book or all of the books that I've read this year. I don't want to read it. I just truly don't. It's just not capturing me. These, they're not on the camera. But those are all the books I'm unhauling and why I'm unhauling. I can't see the tally. I wasn't counting what I was saying, but you can see why. And I'm trying to be better next year. I will not buy books by problematic authors. Buy books just because I want to finish a series that I started when I was 12. I'm gonna buy books just because it's $2 at the used bookstore, and a bunch of other promises to myself that I know I will not keep because I have a problem. But all of that is beside the point. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you. Put a watermelon if you know you know, and I will leave resources if you want to support in any way you can. In a ceasefire in Palestine, I'll leave any resources in the description box of apps you can use to phone your senator. If you don't like talking on the phone, you can just leave a voicemail of apps you can use to know which products are in support of the genocide, and if you don't want to support them, then you can use this app. Things of that nature. Great resources for people if you want to educate yourself. Put that all down low. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later.